What's up, Bulldogs? All right, I gotta admit something to you that's a little hard to admit for me, which is that I haven't really invested in the past in coaching as much as I should have, which is kind of weird because I've been a coach for what? Over 12 years. I've been doing one-on-one coaching. Some of my longest term one-on-one coaching clients have been paying me to coach them on a monthly basis, month to month, right? No long-term contracts for over 7 years, right? And so in that time, I'm not saying that I haven't had any coaches. I've had some running coaches when I was trained for ultras. You know, I've bought some coaching programs and things like that, but I haven't really invested a lot in coaching myself up until now. And I'm really seeing the value in it. And now I'll admit, like, the reason why I hadn't invested in coaching myself as much, even though I'm telling other people they need to invest in coaching, is because I've always kind of had this mindset of I can figure it out on my own, and I already know most of this stuff, and I in fact coach people and teach them this stuff. So why do I need a coach when I can put together my own training program, when I can coach myself and solve my own problems? And that's actually a very limited way of thinking, and I'll tell you why, okay? And just for the record, in the last 3 months, I've spent probably $40,000 on coaching. Not a lie, $40,000. Maybe even more than that. I spent a lot of money on coaching, okay? And it's paying off immensely, right? So this run that I just did right now, my coach, I've got a fitness coach now that he just gives me my run workouts and my lifting workouts, and I pay him $700 a month to do that, okay? Now, that might seem like a lot, but the deal is that I just finished my first trail run since the surgery, since I destroyed my leg, right? Since that Spartan race. And I'm on the track to do a 50-mile race next year, and I'm going to do a 50-mile race next year. And the reason why I'm gonna do that is because now I've got the coaching that I know exactly what to do. And here's the value of it, I'll tell you, is that, you know, I wake up this morning, I've got exactly what I need to do today, the trail that I need to run on, and how I need to run that, and I just execute, right? So I don't have to push myself. Yes, I have to push myself to do the thing, but all I have to do is execute, right? And so it's the same thing with like the sales coaching, right? So I'm doing sales training, coaching. They give me calls, they tell me what to do. You know, there's a little bit more figuring out there, I would say, but I've got someone to ask, right? I've got someone to review my sales calls, right? I've got the guidance and help that I need in order to succeed. And I guess, you know, what I'm saying is that, like, the value in coaching isn't just because you have someone that knows what to do that you don't know what to do, right? Like, for example, take fitness coaching, right? Let's say you're trying to lose some fat or something, or, you know, gain some muscle. You probably know roughly what to do, right? You probably don't need someone to coach you to tell you, hey, you need to eat less, right? You need to eat more protein. You need to go to the gym. You need to do some cardio, right? Like, you could do that. Like, you could even go to ChatGPT and you can have it make a meal plan for you, right? But here's the thing about it. If you have the plan, but you don't actually execute on it, right, what's going to happen? You're not going to get the results. But see, it's not that you don't know what to do. It's that you're too close to the problem to actually solve the problem. Same thing with my business. Like, in business problems that I have, a lot of times I'm too close to the problem to solve the problem. But if I have someone coaching me, giving me help, and even, you know, I have masterminds I go to where we're coaching each other in those. But if I have someone that is not so close to the problem, that can see the perspective, that person can give you the right advice and also gives you the accountability, right? Because it's different when we're trying to be accountable to ourselves. And yes, we can be accountable to ourselves, and there's some value in that, and you have to have discipline, of course. But I'd rather be accountable to myself in the way that I do what I'm supposed to do, that someone else has told me, a coach has told me to do to get the result, rather than be accountable to myself in the way that I have to come up with the plan, right? Because it's like, I don't know, it's like trying to do dentistry on yourself, right? Like, let's say you had to pull a tooth. That would be really hard to do. Like, you could go into the dentist, and even if it wasn't, even if you didn't have Novocaine or whatever, the dentist could probably pull your tooth because he's the one that's inflicting the pain on you. But you trying to get some pliers and pull your own tooth out without any anesthetic, that'd be really fucking hard to do. Why? Because you're inflicting the pain on yourself. And so when you're trying to coach yourself, that's why it's hard. That's why I've struggled with this in the past. And so I finally figured this out, right? A lot of people told me, John, you need to get coaches. You need to get more coaching. It's not like I haven't gotten any, but I finally got to this point in life where I'm like, you know what? I'm going to spend the money. It's well worth the investment to invest in coaching, right? And here's the thing. Here's the funny thing about this, right? I'll give you some really crazy, I just thought about this now. I'll give you something really crazy. So my coaching clients that I've coached, okay? I've coached guys, several guys, right? Probably like 5 or 6 guys that I've helped them become multi-millionaires, okay? No lie. A lot of my coaching clients that I've helped them build businesses bigger than my own. I've helped them make more money than I make in my own business. Their businesses were making more money, operated better than my business, right? And that to this day, that is the case. And so it's kind of ironic. It's like, well, why? Why is that? Well, because I'm not coaching myself. If I was coaching myself, then I would be able to get those kind of results. But in reality, what should have I should have done? I should have had a coach myself, right? But at that point, I thought I knew it all, right? Which hey, I'm getting results for people. I'm getting them to $3 million a year business. So obviously I know what I'm doing, but it's not about knowing. That's the thing I was missing, is I do know enough to get someone to a multi-million-dollar business, right? To help them to build a brand and grow that into a business and do a launch and make 6 figures in a launch. I know how to do all that stuff. But when it comes to me doing it for myself, it's not the knowledge, right? It's the accountability, it's the execution, it's the being too close to the problem. It's the overthinking that happens in that case where, you can't see the forest from the trees, right? And I'm in the trees. And so anyway, just thought I would share that with you guys because it's a big revelation in my life, a big insight that I realized, and it's a game changer for me, right? Getting this coaching now that I have, I'm accelerating, I'm increasing at a rate faster than I ever have before in my life, right? I'm making huge advancements in my training, in my recovery, right? I'm gonna be like the running that I'm doing now and the lifting in the gym, like even just the leg workouts. I would never put myself through the brutal type of leg workouts that my coach is putting me through. Again, I'm no pussy, right? I'm not weak. I put myself through some brutal leg workouts or some brutal workouts and have done a lot of stuff like that. But I just wouldn't do the things that he's telling me that I need to do because I would make some excuse in my head. I'd be like, that's not the best way, or this is wasting a lot of time, or whatever it is, or I don't feel like it today, right? Because that's what we all do. But when he gives me a workout and I'm supposed to do that workout, what am I gonna say? Am I gonna say to him, oh yeah, this is too hard, I'm not gonna do that? No, I'm gonna do what he said to do, right? And here's the last thing I'll share with you about this, right? This is the best thing about coaching, right? Is when I'm trying to do things on my own, who's responsible for the success, the results? I am, right? Okay. When I have a coach and I'm just following what he said and he's a reliable coach and I trust him, right? Again, you need to make sure it's someone that you actually can get you the results. Who's responsible for the results then? They are. I'm responsible for execution. I do what they say. They're responsible for the results. I'm paying them to tell me what to do to get the results. That's what my coaching clients do. It's a big burden on me when I'm like, shit, I gotta figure this shit out, because they're relying on me to make life decisions and business decisions, right? And so, you see what I'm saying? Like, even with my workouts, like I said, I want to run this 50-mile race next year. I told my coach, okay? So he is going to do everything he can to prepare me, even stuff I don't want to do, to be able to run that 50-mile race. And all I got to do is execute. All I got to do is do what he tells me to do. That's it.